This is 190 Queen Street in Melbourne, Australia. And while it looks unassuming, it's actually home to a solidly rated escape room and 20 schools. Schools that came to my attention because in the last few years, colleges started popping up all over Australia. Colleges for ghosts. Okay, not exactly. These schools don't prepare specters of the dead for practical careers. That would be useful. No, their ghost students are very much alive and very much in Australia. They're just unlikely to set foot in a classroom or on a campus at all unless they have a go at that escape room. That's because these schools, hundreds of them across the country, are there to profit off of international students without teaching them much, while exploiting a massive loophole in Australia's immigration policy. One that, unsurprisingly, the government is really trying to close. See, Australia has a lot of international students. In 2022, they made up a quarter of the country's entire higher ed population, not to mention a huge chunk of their economy. Yeah, for some reason, education counts as an export, and in 2019 to 2020, it was actually Australia's fourth largest. That's right, the combined tuition fees and living expenses of all the international students in Australia that year printed more money for the country than gold did. What else did they beat? Thanks for asking. Beef. Also, non-beef. They only lost to iron, coal, and natural gas. But I mean, come on, you won't beat those legends. They're the Destiny's Child of exports. So international students are a big business down under, and as such, recruiting agents get huge commissions for convincing them to study there. And those agents have an unfortunate history of exaggerating how affordable the education they're offering up will be, how much students will actually learn, and whether it'll be a golden ticket to permanent residency, full-time work, or riches beyond their wildest dreams. So while yes, plenty of Australia's international students end up there because they want a chance to learn alongside the largest possible spiders, a lot of them end up there so some recruiter can profit. And look, Australia didn't invent squeezing money out of international students, but they sure have made an art of it, which just about brings us to ghost colleges. If you want a student visa, you need a confirmation of enrollment, or COE, from an Australian school. Basically a little slip that says, hey, we're a school, this kid's doing this program here, all cool. The loophole ghost colleges exploited came from a little rule that allowed students to have two COEs at the same time, aka concurrent enrollment, or in Australian, concurrent enrollment, or for added efficiency, concurrent enrollment. The intentions here were good, allowing undergrads to take short skills courses alongside school, which a normal person would look at and be like, wow, what a nice little system to make sure there's a steady supply of baristas around. But a different type of person would look at that and say, wow, I wonder if I could set up a fake vocational school, get international students to transfer there, make their student visa function as a low-skill work visa, and then profit. And ta-da, ghost college. These schools offer courses in vocations like mechanics or cookery, and then don't enforce attendance, expecting students to just get some unrelated job and work instead of actually going to school. Australian newspaper The Age sent reporters to visit a bunch of schools in Melbourne city centre, an area which is home, on paper, to 300 private vocational colleges, with 70 of them on Queen Street alone. At one of the school's locations, which should have had up to 722 students, the reporter saw only, quote, a handful around, which isn't very many, unless they're tiny. Now, they're very nice, good journalists over there and won't explicitly accuse anyone of doing anything sketchy, but here's my favorite little detail they found. Despite allegedly accommodating 1,500 students, reporters who visited one Queen Street school rarely saw more than 12 of them. But here's my favorite part. That school has links to another vocational school called Level Up, which supposedly serves up to 544 students and is located in the same building on the next floor. Literally a level up. And I just love the idea of someone doing a scheme, putting a second, smaller scheme right on top of it like a hat, then calling it Scheme Hat just to be cheeky. You know, in general. I'm not accusing anyone specific of doing that. I'm just some little YouTube guy. I'm always talking nonsense. The world is flat, the moon is fake, British Lindsay Lohan is real, and Disney has been hiding her since The Parent Trap. Over the course of researching this video, my writer felt a calling to both Australia and hospitality management. But she can be a bit trusting, and I worry that she could fall into a ghost college trap. I mean, these are some savvy schemers, and I assume their websites are indistinguishable from reputable Comic Sans? I shouldn't judge them just for, their About Us takes place in 2021. The overseas student link doesn't even work. Wait, where even is this place? Uh-oh. Well, I hope this works out for her anyway, or at least that she enjoys the escape room. Anything's possible. A crazy part of all of this is that a lot of students who ended up at ghost colleges didn't even register for them initially. The ace recruiting move for these schools was to nab students who'd already secured visas for bachelor's programs and sneaky swap them into shammy vocational ones. The catch was, if you get a visa for a bachelor's degree, you can only keep it if you stay in a bachelor's degree or higher. But through the magic of concurrent enrollment, the ghost colleges could enroll you in their vocational diploma program, then also some random bachelor's program that doesn't start until 2 years later, and you'd keep your student visa, go to work, and just not do that other bachelor's when the time comes. And as a bonus, the ghost college would get you to transfer in your first 6 months at the other school, i.e. before you pay tuition there. So now you can legally get a job in shiny, spidery Australia without having to go to school, and this random quasi-fake school and any agents that recruited you make money by charging you tuition for a school you don't set foot in. The Australian government eventually got wise to this whole situation, and in late 2023, they started to crack down. They put a handful of measures in place, but the gist is that, from the government's perspective, and this is a quote, "the party is over." Oh well. But hey, if you miss your shot at a ghost college, don't worry. There's actually still a way to sign up for some random course of study, barely attend, and then try to get a job after, even though you didn't learn much. It's called college, and I've heard amazing things. This whole ghost college thing is a reminder that people can be very clever and very sneaky when finding ways to profit off of you. And while I love an elaborate education plot, a lot of people are making money off of you in a much less flashy way, selling your personal information. But you can stop them with this video's sponsor, Incogni. The villain here is data brokers. Companies that collect everything from your personal details to your financial history to your contact info and beyond, and then sell all of that to, well, whoever. They're the reason why, in the US, you can search your name and find a bunch of websites that will give anyone willing to pay a small fee your home address. They also might be why you're getting so many spam calls lately, or even why someone might steal your identity. The good news is, you do have the right to get your information out of their databases. The bad news is, actually doing it takes years, unless you have Incogni. They'll automatically contact data brokers on your behalf and request that they remove your data, handle objections, and do it again if your data pops back up. In short, they protect your privacy and your data, and you don't have to lift a finger. You can try Incogni risk-free for 30 days and get a full refund if you're not into it. But if you are into it, you can use code HALFASINTERESTING at the link below to get an exclusive 60% off an annual Incogni plan. You'll be keeping your data safe and supporting this channel if you do, so what are you waiting for?